Hey, this is Ben Rowell from Highway 3 Angler. We had a technical difficulty, so we started this live stream and then had to stop and now restart it. Even after testing this a dozen times or more over the past few days, of course, we would have a technical difficulty right at the start. But anyways, thanks for joining me. Again, my name is Ben Rowell. I'm the owner and guide at Highway 3 Angler in the Susinta Valley. Tonight, we're going to tie some flies in the first of what I'm calling the fly tying after dark. Simple flies for Alaska's trout and salmon. Before we get started, though, I do have a few housekeeping items. Like I mentioned before, this is the first live stream that I'm doing. So if you can let me know in the comments if there's any issues with the sound or lighting, so I can try to fix those. Second, if you want to go back and watch this video or check out how I tied these flies, the video will be archived on the Facebook page and over in YouTube on Highway 3 Angler YouTube page. Tonight, anyone that likes and shares this post and this video will be entered to win a ticket to the International Fly Fishing Film Festival this fall in Anchorage or the Matsu Valley. So go ahead, like and share, and then we'll, at the end of the week, I'll take all the names of the people that liked and shared the video, and we'll have a drawing, and I'll announce the winner on Friday. As I'm tying the flies, if there's any questions, please let me know in the comments. And I do have a question for you tonight, and that is, what would be the coolest animal to scale up to size of a horse? Again, what would be the coolest animal to scale up to the size of a horse? If you could let me know in the comments, that'll be entertaining, I'm sure. So tonight, I'm gonna tie two flies. The first is going to be a simple flesh fly, and the second is going to be a flesh fly with a trailing bead. We'll get started now with just the simple flesh fly. So this is what we're going to aim for tonight. It's just a simple flesh fly tied with a rabbit strip or rabbit zonker. I'm going to start off with a TMC 5262 hook in size 4. Vise 8/0 pink thread. You can use white thread, tan thread, black thread, red thread, and it could be 6/0. Whatever thread you have really will work for this. Also going to use some 0.035 lead wire, and I'm going to put that down first, about 12 wraps. Just center this in the shank. I'm going to start the thread just a little bit behind the eye here. I'm going to do some big wraps around the lead wire just to secure it in place here. Get caught on this lead wire. Now I'm going to bring the thread back to just above the barb. Usually forget to pinch my barb when I'm tying the flies, but you can pinch it before you put the hook in the vise. That way, you know, it's not broken when you tie the fly on it. You could pinch it after you tie the fly, but then you run the risk of breaking the hook when you pitch it down with your pliers. So we got the thread back at the barb, and first we're going to tie on the tail. The tail should be the length of the shank of the hook. So right about there is where the it's the total length. Now I'm going to split the hair apart so I can get down to the hide. If you wet your fingers and then touch the rabbit fur, it gets a little sticky and it's a lot easier to control. So it's got 3 wraps there, and pull down tight, and then advance the thread forward. Now we're going to wrap away from me, stroking the fibers of the rabbit strip back so that they don't get caught up in the wraps. These wraps, they shouldn't be touching one another. They should just be right next to each other, or you can have a little bit of distance. Wet the fingers and kind of stroke those fibers back. Get to the front. Tie that off, leaving enough room to tie into a nice little head here. Whip finish. I do 2 whip finish, 2 3-wrap whip finishes. Cut the thread, and then an optional. What's optional here is to put a little head cement over the wraps. And that's pretty much it. A simple flesh fly in white. You can also tie this in cream. You can tie it in pink. There's rabbit strips that come in 2 colors. So there's actually a lot of options on your flesh flies. This is just a simple white flesh fly. I catch a lot of fish on a white flesh fly in the spring, right after the ice goes out, and in the fall, once the salmon have died and the eggs have mostly washed out of the system. It's a good time to put on this flesh fly. So, like I said earlier, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And if you like and share this video, you'll be entered to win a ticket to this fall's International Fly Fishing Film Festival in Anchorage or the Matsu Valley. Nobody's answered my question. The question is, what would be the coolest animal to scale up to the size of a horse? Well, someone's going to answer. There's our flesh fly. The second fly I'm going to tie tonight is a flesh fly that has a bead trailing behind it. And this is what it looks like when it's dry. It's just, you can barely even see the bead. It's in there. I'm going to get it wet. You can see it, so this is what it would look like in the water. Got a bead and some flesh. You can tie it so the bead's sticking out a little bit more at the end. You can do a lot of different variations here. You can do more than one bead. You can put a couple beads on. There's a lot of patterns like this one. So I don't know what the official name is of these or who tied them. But if you go to a fly shop and you look in the flesh fly section, you'll see a lot of flesh flies with beads on them. And I've learned a few from some folks that I learned to tie with. So there's a lot of different variations of this, but we'll get started. Again, I'm gonna use the same hook as before. The TMC 5262. I'm going to put down 10 to 12 wraps of the 0.035 lead wire. Use the same thread as before. This is the Vise A-dot pink. I'll do some big wraps around this to lock it in place. And bring the thread back again to in line with the barb. I have a 5-inch piece of 8-pound Maxima, and this is what we're going to use to attach the bead. And for a bead, I have a just a 6 mil plastic bead. You can use an 8 mil. You can also use any color that you want. So for this bead, I'm going to put the Maxima through the hole of the bead. Get the bead centered on the Maxima, and then take one of the ends of this Maxima and wrap it back around again and go back down the same hole as you did as I did the first time. What I'm just going to do is lock this bead in here. It's not moving. I'm going to take both ends. So the bead's just going to hang off the back like this. Like I said, you can put it right here, so there's no worries about it getting tangled down here with the hook point, or you can move it further back. I'm going to put mine just about right there. Kind of pinch the Maxima, get some wraps in there, and then make sure it's sitting the way you want it. And give it a few more wraps. Going to bring the thread up to just past the lead wraps, and I'm going to fold my Maxima back over and wrap back down over it. It's probably overkill to tie this in so tight, but that's okay. I don't want to lose the bead after taking time to tie this fly. And if there's any extra Maxima, I just clip that off. So we're back. We're back at the barb. And instead of tying in a tail like we did on the flesh fly earlier in the live stream, we're just going to tie it in and start wrapping right away. So I'm just going to take a little bit of these fibers off so I can get down to the hide. I want to tie in right on this hide right here. Tie that in good, and then bring the thread forward again. And then just like before, we're going to wrap away, stroking the fibers back so they don't get caught up in the wraps. You can wet your fingertips. You got little fibers flying around everywhere. I think the camera picks up all the fibers. Secure that in place. up ahead here. Whip finish. Try not to trap any fibers. Do 3 wraps on my whip finish. Probably don't need head cement, but I'm going to use it anyways. This one comes out fast. And there we go, the flesh fly variation with the bead hanging off the back. Get this wet. Ooh, this one looks better than the one I showed you before. Oh yeah. Trout will like that. You can dead drift it, you can swing it. It'll be deadly. All right, well, thanks for joining me tonight. Don't have any comments on this first live stream. Gonna have to keep them going. Keep the live streams going so people know about them. Again, if you like and share this video, even later on this week, if you like and share it, I'll add you to the drawing for a ticket to the International Fly Fishing Film Festival in Anchorage in Anchorage or the Matsu Valley in this fall. Drawing will be on Friday, and I'll post that on Facebook. No questions tonight. Let's see. The next fly tying after dark is going to be on Thursday, probably at the same time. If you like and follow the Highway 3 Angler Facebook page, you'll get a notification when the event is posted and when we're going to go live. So if you haven't liked and followed the Highway 3 Angler Facebook page, please do that. And that's about it for tonight. Thanks for joining me. Again, my name is Ben Rowell. I'm the owner and guide at Highway 3 Angler in the in Alaska's Susinta Valley. If you want to learn more about me, you can visit my website at highway3angler.com. All right, have a good night.